What's up, y'all? It's been a while since I gave y'all an update, and that's because I haven't done anything on the car. You can see the parts are inside the car for storage and safekeeping. That's the transmission. The rest of the parts are in the trunk. The snafu I had last time was I twisted some of the pressure plate bolts for the clutch, and I had to get new bolts online. None of the dealers in the area had it. So in the meantime, well, I guess I'm also waiting for the Fueltech ECU. My buddy bartered a deal with me for one of my RC boats for a Fueltech 550 plus cash. So I'm just waiting for him to follow through on that so I can get the Fueltech from him. But check this out. This is a recent acquisition. It's a 93 Miata NA first gen 1.6 liter. Doors pretty banged up. It looks like there was a big dent and somebody popped it out with something pointy. No bueno. The issues with the car when I got it, it ran when parked 13 years ago, but obviously it wouldn't crank. The clutch pedal was stiff, so what I did, well, let's look at the inside. It's pretty clean inside. I haven't cleaned it yet, so once I clean it, it'll be nice. Steering wheel is rotten. That's an easy fix. I can replace that or just put a cover over it. So the clutch pedal was dead. It was rock solid, and it wouldn't crank. So I was thinking maybe the starter's frozen because the Slave and the Master were really shot. Let me show you. I think the part's right here. So this is the stock Slave that was in it. Frozen solid. Anyway, I have the replacement for those, and when I pulled out the Master, the push rod had a lot of surface rust, so I pulled it all the way out from underneath, and that's when I saw that the clutch position switch is on the downstroke. So you got to push the clutch all the way in to trigger it instead of just coming off the top like a brake pedal switch. So when that clutch pedal switch isn't pushed, the computer won't let you crank it just in case the car is in gear, so that it has to know that the clutch is all the way in. That's when it lets you crank. So anyway, when I had the Master off, I was able to push the clutch in, and it cranked good. It cranked good, sounded good. Like I said, it ran when parked, and it sounded like it had good compression, nice and even. So I'm very optimistic that if I just put some gas in it, it'll fire up. I'm going to go ahead and get some plugs just in case, maybe a cap and rotor. I'm sure this thing has its traditional distributor. Where is it at? Oh, look, it's in the back, where it's impossible to get to. Huh. I think the radiators could be worse. Could be worse. Just give it a nice flush, maybe. What else is wrong with the car? So the top is very obviously fucked. Hold on. Hard to do from the side. So you can see the top is very clearly not usable. The vinyl is actually okay. It's really hard now, but no holes in the vinyl. But I got a replacement top for it, so I just need to put that in. The frame seems okay, just need to lube it. Now these latches, they didn't look so bad until I popped them open, and you can see the corrosion. Now they still move freely, and they probably will work as designed, but I found one of these cars at the junkyard, and look what I got. So I got taillights right there. You can see the stock taillights busted. This one, not as obvious, but just as bad. So these are OEM taillights here, and they're in great shape. I haven't cleaned them up yet, so they should clean up really nicely. The lenses are in great shape. no cracks. All the studs and everything are in place. Everything is 100% on both of them. So that was a good find. This car also had these latches, which are in good shape. They move nice and free. So I'm gonna lube these up. Man, they're gonna be slick as butter. I got these two. I don't even know if I need these, but they're part of the latch, so I got those. Those go right here. Come on, focus. That's what the convertible latch attaches to. I also got headlight motors. Mine don't do anything. These might be bad also, but they have warranty, so if they don't work, I can always return them. Now this was the cool find here. This battery tray on these Miatas apparently is hard to find on these old ones. I guess the car is 30 years old now. Everybody, or a lot of people, they end up removing the stock tray and everything, this plastic tray, and they lose this because they put a bigger battery in the car. And these are hard to find. Even online, I think they're kind of hard to find. Well, I didn't look very hard. I'm sure you can find a replica or a reproduction or something. So I even got the plastic tray. I got the entire tray system. Now you can see here, a lot of rust. This one here, I just pulled off. Luckily, both of those bolts, they just zipped right off. This one here, so this piece, this is what the J-hook attaches to. I'm assuming it goes like this. Mine was missing. So what I've been doing was I've been grinding off the heads, because I should have showed you the before picture, but you couldn't even see a bolt there. It was bad. The entire thing is missing. All that's left is what I have left here. I was grinding on it. So, well, I can't do it. Oh, I can zoom in. So this one here, I already ground off the head, so the rest of it came off. This one here, you can actually see the circle there. That means the head of the bolt is gone. Now this is just, that's the bolt. This is the rest of the material. So that should just pop off. So I'm pretty optimistic that I can get both of these bolts in here. So then I can attach my new tray like that. And like this. And then the hold down. Okay, so anyway, let's see what else I got. Oh, this was a good find. The pull handle on the top, right there in the middle, it was missing. Boom. Got one. Got the hardware for that too. My interior door handle, the slider, or the back piece there, the red piece on mine broke. And the action is pretty tight. So this is how you lock it, obviously. I need to lube it up, but I probably won't, because I just put this window back together. I replaced the regulator and the bushing for the track. So now the window opens and closes properly. I'm probably just going to leave it like that. You can see this is really rotten, but that'll be fine. There's no more speaker there. I am going to do the door pull mod. So this armrest here, I didn't think, whenever I saw that people were removing this, doing a delete, and then just putting a pull handle, like a loop, a cloth loop, I'm like, come on, they say it's to increase legroom. I'm like, how can that eat up legroom? And no, this car, it's cramped on the inside. And sure enough, I got in there, and yeah, it hits the side of your thigh. So I'm probably gonna do that, delete that mod. I need to figure out why the steering wheel is so crooked. With the wheels both pointed straight, it's super crooked. So hopefully there's not something going on with the rack. So I'm probably gonna center the rack and then check my outer tie rods. I don't know. Maybe one of them is bent or something. Okay, so what else? Oh, rear diff. This was off the same junkyard car. So this is off a 96. This is a 93 with a 6-inch ring gear. This has a 7-inch ring gear, so it's beefier. But also, it has a torsion diff, factory torsion diff. Torsion means torque sensing, so whenever torque is applied on the input, it'll lock up the clutches and everything on the inside, and then it'll send power evenly from left to right. Whereas an open diff, it just chooses the path of least resistance, and there's no bueno. So to do this swap, it should just bolt right in. I do need to reuse the drive shaft off the other car and the CV axles. Of course, the CV axles I can get new off of Rock Auto for cheap. The drive shaft not so cheap, and this not so cheap either because they don't even make it anymore. So I'm just going to get new CV axles. These wheels are Motegi something something. I think they're Enki knockoffs, but they look fine. There's only a very minor curb rash in one of them. They're 15x7 plus 42, which is not bad. I really want 15x8, maybe like a plus 38, plus 35, just to not stance it, but just fill out the wheel wells and everything. But I already have these wheels, and they're not bad, honestly. So I'll probably just rock these for a while. So this one looks like they painted it charcoal. This one they painted it black. They were experimenting. They're supposed to be silver, like these. So I have 3 different colored wheels on this car. But at least they're all the same actual wheel. It's just they were painting them differently. What else? My sun visors are intact, and they work fine. Like I said, this car was parked for 13 years, and it ran when parked, so I don't really anticipate a lot of other issues with it. Oh, let me show you this. So this car, it did have a rough idle, and the previous owner's attempts to fix it, I guess, which the car needed it. A few years ago, they bought these hose kits. Every single hose on the car. I think these are all water hoses. These look like upper and lower radiator and bypass hoses maybe. These look like vacuum hoses. No, that's not vacuum. Anyway, every hose on the car, plus every hose clamp for those hoses, it came with that. And what else? What's this? A badge, Carbon Miata. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna have to look that up, what Carbon Miata is. I guess it's just a brand. And gasket. I think this is intake manifold. Looks like intake manifold, not exhaust. No, exhaust manifold. Okay. So exhaust manifold gasket. I don't know why it needs that, but I have it if I need it. So that's what's been occupying my time instead of working on the Accord. But this doesn't take much to get it running, I think. I don't know if I'm going to just go ahead and replace every hose just to do it. Some of these are, like this one's a plug. It's clearly bad, but it does work. I mean, just push it on further. So we'll see what kind of drivability issues it has. Once you start taking everything off, everything starts breaking, so I'm really hesitant to do all that. So we'll see. But hey, I think it's pretty clean though. I think it's going to be a fun little car. I need to lower it. To do a proper paint job on it or make it look properly nice, it would take way too much work, and I don't want to. So I'm not going to mess with fixing all that stuff. Like, I don't even know if this can be buffed out. I may not even clean it, to be honest with you. I'm probably not even going to fix that badge. This is the Maz. I have the original badge that came off here, but when my cousin was pushing the car, it popped off. So I think this is where that Carbon Miata badge would go. But I'm going to see what Carbon Miata is. If it's just a brand, then maybe I'll put it on there. But I don't even know if I have parts off of that, from that brand, that company on here. I'm assuming those hoses are from Carbon Miata. But look, I got the factory spare. I have the factory wheels, the factory 14-inch Daisy wheels with original center caps. So I'm trying to sell those. If you want them, let me know. I got the factory toolkit, jack. Oops, sorry. The toolkit's over there. Yeah, man, it's I wish I had the carpet in here, but I'm sure they pulled it out because it was rotten. I'm glad they did, because this rust would have been a lot worse. This is surface rust. Like, it looks bad, but this is just from the tray, the remnants of the tray rotting. But the floor itself is solid. So, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to do some more work on it. I'm not going to put this diff in yet. I have to order the CV axles. I'm just going to try to get it running. I think with just some gas in it, I think it'll fire right up. I don't know what I could do a couple of these small things. Well, yeah, so what I was working on was this. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that out, see if I can get the factory tray in. I'll clean this up with a wire brush and hit it with a rust prohibitor. There's really not that much rust underneath. Oh, let me get the light. Well, what am I doing? Let me raise the car up. So I did already pull the wheels off, check the bearings, they seem fine. I checked the rotors and stuff. I think a couple hard slams on the brakes, it'll clean everything off. Okay. So, man, it's complete. I think a lot of these cars, they're kind of like 240SXs. You get them and they're just missing everything because, you know, they're like 7th owner cars. But this is actually, it was a 1 owner car. So it still has a cat. What's going on here? Oh, this is a heat shield, I'm assuming. I wonder if that rattles. No major oil leaks, it looks like. I'm happy with everything. Oh yeah, so the slave is right here. Man, it's super easy to work on. It was right here. Here's the lever for the clutch. Cute little exhaust. Here's the diff that I have to replace. So this one uses a 2-piece CV axle, the 1.8. Yeah, this thing is tiny compared to the other one. This uses a 2-piece CV axle. I gotta replace the drive shaft. This one looks nice and rotten. I'm sure it's all fine. Actually, it says it's surface rust. What else? Looks like stock suspension. Bushings don't look terrible. Not bad. This is the first time looking under the car for me. Or in the back, at least. Okay, so cool. It looks like all these bolts will break loose easy. I don't see anything that is very worrisome. Cool. All right, I'm excited. So that 1.8 car had a longitudinal brace. Kind of like went here, went down the sides. I know people talk about one of those being a popular mod. I wonder if I should go back and get that. I don't know. Let's look up here. There's a brace that I was looking at on Flying Miata or on Goodwin. And I think, yeah, take off those 2 nuts and then it'll bolt there and it'll bridge across, and it adds a lot of strength apparently. So I think I'm gonna do the frame rail reinforcement or bracing. Basically sandwiches the frame rails and bolts to the floor through the unibody. Everyone says it does an amazing job, and it's probably the most noticeable bracing. A lot of people say strut tower brace doesn't do anything. Look at this. All the factory hardware for the bumper is still here. That's incredible. All of it. Look, the plastic clips are still there. This bumper's never been off the car. Imagine that in 30 years. Cool, cool, cool. So for that steering issue, I'm going to verify that the steering wheel has equal throw left to right. And then I'm going to center the steering wheel, and then I will make my adjustments on these outers. Let's see, the inners look, oh no. Looks like we got a leak here. It's red. It's probably power steering fluid, darn it. Okay. This side looks nice and clean. Sorry, this video is probably terrible right now. I could always just do a manual delete or a manual power steering conversion. So we will cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't need power steering to drive it. I'd prefer to have a manual rack. I wonder if it's an easy conversion to just throw in a manual rack. So, all right, guys, that's where I'm at. Sorry that I don't have any Accord footage for you, but maybe you want to see this kind of stuff too. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.